YouTube, how we doing? PPS here. YouTube play of the day. We got two spots today. I'm going to have a play for you guys in some college football today with first game of the semifinals are here, ready to go. Obviously, super excited for that to get those in. Obviously, having a pretty good year on the show here. College football got to bounce back a little bit in college basketball. We had another one in one night, and we got very lucky with the Iowa one. So let's do a quick recap. SMU got absolutely manhandled. Was very, very surprised. North Carolina did a very, very good job defensive rebounding, a lot better than I expected. And they just dismantled this team. SMU just got absolutely worn out. I believe they got lost by like 15 on a 6-point spread. So good play there from North Carolina. Iowa came through. Nebraska found a way to send it to overtime. Iowa had a very bad first half. Second half played what we expected them to do, and feeling pretty good about that. So I'm going to start out college football playoff, and then I also have a 1.5 unit college basketball play for tonight. So what we're going to roll with in college football today, trying to add on to those 3.6 units, it's going to be Riley Leonard under 50.5 rushing yards. Big fan of this Penn State front seven. They're fantastic. You saw what he did to Ashton Jeanty, lowest number of the season. Obviously, this is a very good front seven. Only thing I'm really worried about is Penn State really hasn't played a ton of dual threats. You can look at like Garrett Green from West Virginia, Dylan Gabriel still. Some people say he's mobile, but I'm not a huge proponent on that. But I think this is a really good sell high spot. 50.5 rushing yards against this team is going to be tough. Jeremiah Love getting injured in that last game, it kind of scares me a little bit too. Just because this Penn State team already has an elite front seven. You take away probably their most explosive weapon. And if he does play, he's not 100%, but he's going to try, right? He's going to try and get out there. And obviously this team's very, very good. They're going to obviously have to have something there, but Jeremiah Love having a 34.5 rush prop should tell you what you need to know, right? Then you go down to Price, very good backup, very, very good number two. He's at like 50, so I'm assuming they know obviously the injury is pretty big. You can find this on FanDuel right now at 50.5. Sacks do count towards negative rushing yards. Obviously, that's very important. Penn State has an elite pass rush. And I'm selling high on that 80.5 because if you go to the 4 games prior to that, he was 0 for 4 to this number. Obviously, when he has those explosive plays, like last week, he had a 32-yard run, right? I mean, we've seen this Penn State team really limit explosive plays. And when we look at this number, right, 32-yard on that long run there, he had a 34-yard against Florida State. A lot of these spots, it's like he's getting one big play, and that's kind of holding him over there. Obviously, Notre Dame's front offensive line has been fantastic. They've been very, very good, but I do expect them to have to play from a little bit more of a neutral, negative game script than they have in these last few games. It's just been kind of dismantling teams. So I really like Penn State's front seven. I really like this defense. I think it's going to be a really tight game. And I don't have as much faith as a lot of people do in Leonard being able to break off a big play against this team, right? Obviously, looking at his number at 12.5 rush attempts juiced to the over at minus 140. Obviously, I'm expecting a few sacks in there, obviously mixed in. So I think that you saw them in that Georgia game. They had control from the start. They really could do what they wanted. And Georgia allowed him to get outside of the pocket. I don't think Penn State's going to let that happen. It kind of showed those cards in that last game where they were using Leonard quite a bit, right? I think he had 14 carries in that game. I'm expecting a little bit better performance from this front seven, seeing as it's a huge game. And I think that Franklin knows that as of right now, this might be their most explosive player on offense with Jeremiah Love being beat up a little bit. So sign me up, Riley Leonard, under 50.5 rushing yards. And we haven't done college football in a few of these days just because it's been really loaded with pass to prop and everything. But, looking forward to add on to this. We're going to college basketball. 10 and 12 on the year here so far. I'm going to my North Florida. I believe it's Ospreys is how we say it out here. DraftKings has this for us. I'm sitting at 82.5, minus 125. I really like this Ospreys team. If obviously any of the VIP guys in here watching the show, they know I love this team. I really do. They shoot a ton of threes. And how you slow them down is you got to stop the three ball. Eastern Kentucky allowing about 33% from the field from three. Obviously, that's like middle of the pack. When you look at this total, right? You look at this total, it is massive, guys. Like, this is like a 170 total. You don't see that very much in a lot of these games anymore, just because there's just not that many teams that run this type of pace. Eastern Kentucky right now is 132 in pace. Their defense is horrendous at 292, and that's not even against that good of competition. When we look over at North Florida, they're playing 18th in pace. They have the 350th defensive rating and 87th offensive rating. So this game should move up and down. Eastern Kentucky should get theirs. My biggest issue is obviously guarding the three ball. North Florida is also one of those teams I like to back because those 3-point shooters are usually pretty good at free throws too. We've seen Harris 73%. As a team, when you go like lower down on their team, they're obviously struggling there. But we have Harris shooting 50% from three. I don't even know how to say it. Lateris, 40% from three. And mind you, they've already attempted 533s and made 184 of them already. So pretty impressive with them being able to just continue to shoot these up. What I also like is with all of these 3-point shots up, I'm worried about Eastern Kentucky defensive rebounding. They're bottom 20 in the country in terms of offensive rebounds allowed per game. Over 11, that is not good. You go over to North Florida, they were a lot better than I expected them to be. They're 145 in terms of 145th in the country, 9.3 offensive rebounds per game. I think this is going to be something that we can get a lot of second chance opportunities, 2 shots from the 3-point line with how good these shooters are. I think this is a great spot for North Florida. I don't think Eastern Kentucky can slow them down. I don't think North Florida is going to slow it down. They're going to play a very frenetic pace here. And I think North Florida is going to – they get teams to play their type of style because their defense is that bad. So I'm going to be rolling with North Florida Ospreys here. Team total over 82.5 on DraftKings. Really liking this spot. So North Florida, team total 82.5. And Riley Leonard under 50.5 rushing yards at -114. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Obviously, great day of football. Getting that. We get some football on Friday with Ohio State, Texas, and then obviously NFL all weekend. So exciting time. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, hit that like button. We'll be back tomorrow ready to roll for Pass the Prop normal time. And, we'll be ready to do it. So thank you guys. Hit that like button on your way out and talk soon. Peace.